Hello, my name is Alyssa and I want to welcome you to my channel and my video today on Pan That Palette and Finish 5 in 2025. My Pan That Palette is, I think, kind of an obvious thing if you've been in the panning community, but I am just trying to, well, I already panned one palette already this year, so this is my second palette that I'm working on. And then I also started a Finish 5 products in 2025, and the only thing that's remaining is the two blushes that I pressed together in here. So today we're going to do a little update. If that sounds good, then please keep watching. If you like someone who is showing off their makeup and using it and not just letting it sit and stay pretty, then maybe you'll consider subscribing to my channel. But for our update this time, all right, which one should I start with first? I think I'm going to start with the blush. It's still a good update, okay? Like, don't get too worried. It's okay. But I was kind of hoping I'd be in a better spot for trying to finish it by the end of this year. So I will have a picture up on the screen of the, before and then a picture of the after, but I can also just kind of like show you briefly right now. I mean, it's looking good, okay? There is lots of pan showing. It's been repressed. I'm trying to wear down the little mountains of blush that are kind of, let's see if I can show you, like around here, it's kind of like raised a bunch. So I'm trying to, wear that down. But at the end of the day, I still have about under 2 grams left of product, but the fact is that I'm not using a gram a month, so this will likely not be finished by the end of this year. It is, what it is. I've been trying to do my best. I am basically wearing it every day. Sometimes I'm wearing another blush. Usually I try to use at least a little bit of this though with it, so but if it has to continue into, I don't know, I'm like, if I'm using about 0.5 gram a month, then it might take me, almost 4 more months. So I don't know, or maybe 3 more months, maybe about, I don't know. So I'd be okay, I guess, with that it's like the first trimester of the year, I guess. But yeah, so what I did use this past month was 51/100ths of a gram, which is better than the last 2 months because that was 46/100ths and 34/100ths. So, it's not my most, and maybe I weighed it incorrectly when I first put it in, with the palette. Maybe we're closer to done than I think. Probably not though. So just know that when you buy blushes, that they are going to last you for a very long time, even if you use the same one every single day. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about my Stone Vibes palette. So this palette, I am going to very gingerly actually no, I'm not going to open it up right now because it's just going to make a mess. So we're just going to stick with pictures. Okay, so the eyeshadow in the room, also known as the elephant in the room, you're going to notice an empty. So that is because that was the dark blue shade, and I just decided that, when I used it on my eyes, it's so flaky. It was always flaky and would make a mess, and it's only gotten worse. It's dried out some as it's gotten older. So I used it 2 times to do 2 manicures, and that finished it up. So that's probably going to be most of the weight change then for this past month. I ended up using 94/100ths of a gram, which is, almost an eyeshadow, whereas before last month was 62/100ths of a gram. So, it was probably mostly that. I'm going to go ahead and go through my uses of each shade. So for the beige shade, I used it 12 times. The light green shade, so I had a goal to use everything 4 times each, which was actually kind of a struggle. But I did do it. So the light green was 4 times. The light blue is 5. The Tiger's Eye, which is my favorite shade, was 4 times. Then the light purple was 4. The matte orangey shade is 6 times. The matte brown was 6 times. The bloodstone shade I used 4 times. The blue I said that was twice and done. Then the next purple shade was 4 times. Then the warm shade is 4 times, and then the final shade in the palette, I used it 10 times. So, I definitely was sticking with my goal of, doing the 4 times. I want to keep with that. I think that is a good number of uses, that it was a challenge, but I wasn't like super groaning about like, oh, I gotta use this palette again type of vibe. Okay, so I want it to be an enjoyable sort of panning process with this, but I also don't want to just be like, oh, I just have to use every shade 1 time and it counts. I want to keep it a little bit challenging. So yeah, we're gonna stick with 4 times. Let's see how much usage happens, like how much like weight change there is if I'm not gonna have most likely an empty eyeshadow with 4 uses for anything. I'm just looking. And like I said before, I don't care if I don't use up the mattes. I'm mostly worried about or not worried, but focusing on the shimmers. Even though the uses look like I'm using the mattes more, it's just because they're there that I'm using it. But the shimmers are the most special part here. So that is what I have. Hopefully this was interesting. You enjoy seeing the pictures and that kind of thing. And until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well. Thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!